Scotland vs Georgia suspended after 7 minutes due to waterlogged pitch before resuming nearly 2 hours later. Scotland's match with Georgia was suspended after just 7 minutes of action due to heavy rainfall. Poor conditions began at Hampden Park around half an hour before kickoff. Scotland were leading 1-0 through Callum McGregor, and play eventually resumed at 9:35 p.m. Scotland's Euro 2024 qualifier with Georgia was temporarily suspended after just 7 minutes of action due to a waterlogged pitch caused by heavy rainfall in the hour before kickoff. Steve Clarke's side were leading 1-0 through Callum McGregor's early strike, with Georgia complaining about the conditions in and around the goal as the midfielder's strike was heavily assisted by the poor conditions. When the referee called both sets of players off the pitch, ground staff were given 2 opportunities to sweep the rainfall off the surface. The Hampden surface failed the first inspection but passed the second. Both sets of players warmed up on the pitch 10 minutes later, but were then mysteriously sent back inside. The Scotland players re-emerged with the game set to resume where it left off at 9:15 p.m. Then, in bizarre scenes, Georgia's players initially refused to resume the game, leaving the prepared Scotland players bemused on the pitch. The visiting players eventually emerged from the tunnel for the resumption at 9:35 p.m., 1 hour and 40 minutes after the game initially kicked off. Scotland went on to win the game 2-0, with Scott McTominay added a second goal just after halftime as Steve Clarke's side went 8 points clear at the top of Group A. Clarke praise for fans, staff and players. Scotland manager Steve Clarke had nothing but praise for the fans, staff and players after a surreal night at Hampden Park and gave an insight as to what happened with Georgia's apparent refusal to restart the game. He told Viaplay Sports, "The players were magnificent. They stayed focused on the game, came out to warm up I don't know how many times. But I have to mention the crowd. Every time the players came out to warm up, the crowd were there singing and cheering and letting the players know they were there to support them. It could have been easy for people to drift away, but they stayed with the team and we really appreciate that." The Georgian boys were looking at the way the pitch was at the start of the game and were thinking it was still the same. When both teams were in the tunnel one of the times we came out, you could see it was pouring again, and on the back of that, they were thinking the pitch wouldn't be any better. But the pitch did start to drain. The volunteers, a big mention for them as well. Out there sweeping the water off the pitch and doing everything they can to get the game on. And when Georgia came out and had a look in the warm-up, they could see the pitch is fine. We got there in the end. McTominay also told Viaplay Sports after the game, "At the start we were all saying we couldn't play on the pitch. But we kept our heads and kept to the game plan and we did it really well. We came here to play, the crowd was amazingly patient. They kept us going. We thank them so much." Fellow scorer McGregor added to Viaplay Sports, "No one's experienced that before. It's a testament to the boys' character and the staff, they were excellent. We were desperate to get the game back on. We were physically ready to go again. Overall, it's a really positive night." Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.